We have some breaking news to get to now from California, where a judge has just declared a mistrial in the Palisades Fire trial. Less than 24 hours ago, the jury actually sent a note to the judge saying they had reached a verdict here, but then they sent a second note to say that they were deadlocked. Now, just moments ago, the jury returned and told the judge that they would not be able to deliver a verdict in the case against Jonathan Rinderknecht. He is facing 3 federal arson charges for allegedly setting a fire on a hiking trail on New Year's Day of last year. Officials say it went undetected for days, ultimately bursting into a devastating wildfire that scorched thousands of homes, upended lives, and businesses across L.A. County. NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris joining us now. She's been following this. Misty, these developments really just coming in as we speak. The judge and both legal teams meeting earlier. The judge said that he was against declaring a mistrial, but that's exactly what appears to have happened here. Do we know why that transpired?
Yeah, so the prosecution and the defense going back and forth with the judge about what to do next, given the jury's note that they could not come to a consensus. Ultimately, the judge determined that a note would be sent back to the jury. Is there anything the court can do to help the jurors to come to a consensus? They say no. Do they want to see any evidence, readbacks of any testimony? No. The jury said that they could not come to a consensus because the convictions were too strong on both sides. So then the judge, Sam, and this is astounding. They brought the jury in and polled the jurors, asking each what way they wanted to vote. And there were 10 for not guilty and 2 for guilty. And the jurors again said to the judge, we cannot change anyone's mind. We are unable to come to a unanimous decision. The judge ultimately, given what the jury said, declaring a mistrial.
Misty, for those that are watching this and wondering, is that normal to poll the jurors to find out how they would have ruled if there was no mistrial? And then the logical question here is what happens next?
Yeah, so it is something that the court can do and that judges do in order to determine whether or not the jury needs more time to go back into that jury room and hammer it out versus whether or not it would be coercive to do so, meaning would jurors feel undue pressure just to come to a consensus, even though they have already made a determination. So polling of the jury is one of those strategies that a judge can take. So what happens next? Well, the defendant has been held without bond through this trial. So he's been behind bars. The next step is a detention hearing because a mistrial itself does not change that status. The court would have to order whether or not the defendant will remain in jail while the federal prosecutors determine whether to try this case again versus release with some sort of condition. So that would be the next step, and they're coming back to court later this afternoon.
All right, so next steps still to be determined. Misty Marris with a very thorough breakdown there. Thank you, Misty.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.